Okay, she come too. I need one more, brother teacher.
Okay, well, you're on.
How's everybody this morning?
Blessed. Blessed to be in the house.
Trust that everybody had a good week.
Yes, we made it.
The fact that you were here is good testimony.
Yes, we made it.
All right. So we know that God is good.
All the time.
Right. Brother George, can you say a short prayer for us this morning, please? I know we said one, but Paul said pray all the time.
All right.
So if you could say a short prayer for us, I'd appreciate it.
Father God, in your precious name, we just want to bless you this morning. We want to thank you for just giving us this opportunity and this privilege to be in your presence. Oh God, and we ask you to open up our understanding. Help us, oh God, to be receptive to your word. In Jesus' name we pray. We thank you now. Amen.
Amen.
All right, thank you, Brother G. Okay. What's the lesson title?
Disciplined faith.
A Disciplined Faith. And it's basically taken from James. And James is probably a book that at least I don't read through too often. Probably less times on one hand than I've read in the book of James. But it seems as though James is teaching the brethren. This is a letter written by James, is that correct? Anybody?
I will say yes.
You would say yes. Okay, who is he writing to, do you think? Okay, we all know. All right, but anyway, in his letter, or his epistle, he is stressing that words are very important. Words are extremely important. And what part of our body controls words?
Our tongue.
Our tongue. All right. And the tongue, James says, is venomous, poison.
The smallest, but most deadly.
It can cut you down, make you feel bad, even make another person sick, I believe. You know? So, but it's all controlled coming from
The mind.
the mind.
Yep. What comes from the tongue.
But if in our mind, if we could control the tongue, we would be, as they say, happy campers. Okay, I'll read along, and I may call upon you to read along, and we'll see what we get out of the lesson. Picking it up at James chapter 3 and verse 1. James starts out by saying, my brother, what is it? Is he cautioning someone here? Is he threatening here? Or is he saying just be careful? My brother, be not many ministers.
Masters.
Masters, okay. Knowing that we shall receive what? The greater condemnation? What do you suppose he's talking about there? Okay. My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a what? Perfect man, and able also to do what?
Right of the whole body.
All right, right on the whole body. Behold, we put bits in horses' mouths, and they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. Behold, also the ships, which though they be so great and are driven of fierce winds, yet or they turned about with a very small helm. You know what helm is?
Rudder.
Right. Okay. Whithersoever the governor listeth. Now in this case, the governor is who? What is the governor?
Captain.
Overseer.
Okay. All right, overseer, I'll go with that. The captain of the ship. The person driving the ship. Even so, the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindled. Now, James, I believe, is a good teacher here. He's breaking it down to where people like me can understand it. He's trying to show the importance of the tongue, what happens when we speak. He's saying that the tongue is like a rudder on a ship. You take those big ships, big aircraft carriers, battleships, right on down to the smallest fishing vessel. It has a little rudder in the back. And that little rudder turns left. See, if it turns left, that's going to make the ship go right. And if it turns right, that's going to make the ship go left. But that rudder is a very small instrument that controls such a large ship. So I believe James is saying, if you're not too familiar with what I'm talking about, take a look at a large ship. That ship has that little rudder paddle in the back. That, you can associate that with the tongue. Even so, the tongue is a little member, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindled. Now here, I believe that James is calling the tongue fire. A little fire. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body. Now remember the ship that has that little rudder in the back? Make that big old ship go left or right. And our tongues can control our bodies, as small as it is. And set on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. For every kind of beast, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea, is tamed, and hath been tamed of mankind. Now, there's some pretty big beasts in that ocean. Not to mention the whales and possibly other things, squids, giant squids, and possibly even things at the bottom of the ocean that I haven't even seen. For every kind of beast, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea is tamed, and hath been tamed of mankind. James is saying that we've tamed birds, we've tamed fish, tamed, or at least trained lions and tigers. Perhaps you've been to the circus or seen it on TV where they got these lions jumping through hoops and tigers jumping through hoops that are on fire. And they got giant elephants standing up on his hind legs. Got him trained. But one little instrument that we can't control.
That mouth.
That mouth. That gets us in trouble.
Amen.
But the tongue can no man tame.
That's the truth.
It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. Therewith bless we God, even the Father, and therewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of God. Out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not so to be. Doeth the fountain send forth the same? Does the fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter? No. Can the fig tree, my brother, bear olive berries? Either a vine, figs? So can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh. I roll back my thoughts to who James is writing to or who he's been preaching to. These folks were having a bad time. And James was having a bad time trying to teach them. Because evidently it appears to me that they all had bad moms. I mean, they would probably talk bad, threaten you, and even dare you.
It said brethren. What is brethren? Because it's not saying so it's brethren. When the word brethren is used, it's used loosely in the word. But brethren is mostly applied to God's people. In the Bible now. People use it on the streets. Yeah. But in the Bible, when you say brethren, it's not just anybody's, God's chosen people that are called brethren. Because Jesus said, for this cause, he's not ashamed to call us brethren.
Okay. Whoever they are some bad folks.
Amen. We must bless
Bad.
the Lord. Yes.
Okay. Key verse. Can someone read the key verse for me? This is on page 2. At the very top of page 2.
James 3:8. But the tongue can no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison.
But the tongue, no man tame. It is an unruly evil, full of deadly poison. Okay, well, I have some examples of folks who have, I'll say, used their tongue to create words, and I thought were some very good words. Have you ever said something and afterwards wished you could retrieve it?
Yes.
How many times have we done that?
Quite a few times.
Pastor?
Brother Jones, you went to, when you asked the question who James was writing to, you went to, these folks are supposed to be bad. But it's not just for folks that are bad. All of us offend in tongue. That's what he's saying in 1 and 2. And he says, my brethren, be not many masters. Masters here are teachers. All right. So as a teacher, you got to watch what you say. Right? He said, why? Because we will receive greater condemnation. The leaders get worse condemnation than the laity, right? And in verse 2 it says, for in many things we offend all. And that's every human being have offended in tongue. No man can control the tongue. So we all offend. The answer to your question, you've always said something that we'd like to take back.
Well, I know I've said not only some things, but perhaps many things. And after I say them, or go through whatever I'm going through, I think about it and say, I should have said that. And it makes me, you know, I cringe sometimes, you know. I shouldn't have said that. Or I shouldn't have done that. Or procrastination, you know. Holding back when you should speak and say something. That can go against us also. this brother, he was crossing in the middle of the block. I should have said something to him. Should have told him not to do that. Maybe he wouldn't have got that jaywalking ticket. So if I would have spoke up, used my tongue, using good words, tell that brother, hey, don't cross in the middle of the block, go to the corner where the working signal is, he wouldn't have got that ticket. Sister Sonia.
There was a time a while back, there was a teacher that was getting ready to give the lesson, and I wasn't going to be here. I was getting ready to leave. So I went to the teacher and I said, I will be here for the lesson. I'm leaving. I'm only saying that so that the person know that I'm leaving. So the teacher said, why are you telling me to go? Why are you telling you to go? I was really taken back by that.
Yeah.
So with that, I won't say it.
Well said, okay. Well, you have respect, to me, that seems as though you had respect for the class, and you had a great deal of respect for whoever it was that was teaching the class. You take the time to tell them, I'm not going to be here, I'm going to leave. In other words, you're asking the teacher to excuse you. Excuse me, so-and-so, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be absent. Now, that's respect to the teacher. And the teacher will take that, but if you just get up, walk out, slam the door behind you, what is that?
Disrespectful.
Disrespect. Brother George.
Oh, yeah. Let me, you know, we love to talk about how we are unable to do things. And we always say God is, is in control. When I let God use me, or use this member, then I got principles that God has written in His Word. That means that I'm no more my own. I can't do what I always do because I don't belong to me. You understand what I'm saying? So, because I have to be slow to speak, and then you have to say your words with a little seasoning. A lot of times we think that because we're speaking the truth, I'm supposed to just throw it out there. You can't just take truth and abuse it. Yeah. See, when I speak, I have to have some compassion. And a lot of times I get so caught up in my little self because I love the music of what my words are saying. It's like poetry to me. So I get to just throw it and just let it go. I have to be very careful. Paul told us to be careful for nothing. And a lot of times they ask me who Paul was talking to. He was talking to me. Because all scripture was written by the inspiration of God. It's profitable for doctrine, for correction, for instruction. I'm getting some instruction from the Word of God. A lot of us today, we don't want to succumb to the realization that it's no more I, but it's the Christ that liveth in me. When I come subject to God's Word, I'm going to be humble. Irregardless if I got the truth or not. I know I got to have the truth in God, but I'm going to be slow to speak. Sometimes I just get so warmed up in this thing because it get like music in my, it just sounds kind of musical. And I get loose with this thing. But I have to be very careful how I speak to God's people, how I deliver the word to them, because I have to win souls. I'm not driving people away from God. I'm trying to draw them to Him. By love and kindness have I drawn thee. And I think a lot of times we just like it. I get my little confusion with my knowledge, because if we want to deal and operate out of my intellect, I have to be very careful. The Bible said this way is so plain that even a fool won't ever. Not even a fool. So then what's wrong with us that come here and being taught every week, and then yet we still get say we can't help but do wrong? That's a song that said, I don't want to do wrong, but I just can't help myself. That means I don't no longer belong to me. If I come subject to God's way and not my way, it makes my path a little bit more brighter and a lot more clearer, so I can walk a straighter path. But when I'm doing it in myself, then that's why I stumble and do all the wrong, because I'm egotistical, machonistic, and I'm self-centered, I'm arrogant, I'm pompous, I'm heady, I'm boastful, I'm proud. All those things are who I am as a human being. But when I give myself to God, and it's no more the I, but it's the Christ that God that liveth in me,
Amen.
then that straightens me up.
Amen.
You understand what I'm saying? That's what the Word of God is for me.
Amen.
All right. very good, Brother Judge. Thank you for that. And this goes on. Did you get one of these, Sister Irene?
Yes, sir.
Sister Jones?
You're talking about words.
Yes.
Years and years ago, somebody said two things to me, and I never forget it. I'll forgive you, but you know those two things was like a gavel. But what I do with those two things, it will never happen again. Mistakes are made not to go do it over. Whether you make a mistake or somebody do it, if you do me something right now, and I'm offended or anything like that, I forgive you, but I won't forget. And don't tell me that the Lord said forgive and forget, because in this church, if people forget, nobody come with the same thing 10 years, 15 years ago, saying the same thing over and over. So we can forgive, but you might not forget. If I forgive that dog barking against, biting my leg, it's like, I don't remember I can't pass there again, because it might bite me.
Yeah.
So most of the time, when you're being hurt, sometimes it's good, because you move on, okay? You move on. But I'm saying two things from two persons, and I don't forget, but I make sure it doesn't happen again. Okay?
Very good. Yeah, no, you remember those dog bites.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Not to get too far from the lesson, but when I was a kid, we were going through an alley. There was three of us, 3 kids. And we walked behind this 2-story hotel, I believe it was. And it had wooden stairs on the back that come down to the ground. Well, it had a wood fence there, but there were a couple of pickets missing from that fence. And we were coming down in that alley, we were just talking and doing what kids do. And this German shepherd come out on the second porch, second story, come out on the porch. And he looked down, he started barking. And he started coming down them stairs. Well, the 2 guys that I was with, they took off and ran. And you know when you run from a dog, that makes him want to get you more. And I was the slowest runner. So you can imagine who we got. He went and come down to that fence, squeezed through those pickets, and took out down the alley after me. And right this day, I do believe that I had an encounter with 2 angels. That's just my personal belief. Because when that dog came down, he came in the alley, and everybody started running, and I was the slowest one, so I was the last one behind him. So he went down, chewed my leg, bit my leg, I fell. He was going to proceed to work me over. But there appeared 2 men in that alley, and they shouted at that dog. That dog got up off of me, left me alone. He did a U-turn, went back to that picket fence, went back to those stairs where he lived, and was out of sight. And by the time I come to myself, I looked around. I didn't see the 2 men. So to me, I'm thinking, well, hey, those men had to be angels. They were angels for me because they got that mean dog off of me. And right today, I got teeth marks in my leg where that dog chewed down. I just thought I would put that out there. Sister Sonia.
The Bible says that we all come short of the glory of God. And offense will come. When those offenses that come, it gives us muscles to know how to handle issues and problems of life when we do come. Because it happens, we will learn something from that situation, and you can help someone else too. So the word says offense will come. So we have to
Take it in stride and maybe use it to help someone else.
right, and move on.
Move on. Okay. All right. Good. Okay, let's take a look at page 2. This is one of those kinds of things where I let my tongue get the best of me. I wasn't controlling my tongue. My tongue was sort of controlling my thoughts, you might say. Anyway, the question is, have you ever said something and afterwards wished you could retrieve what you said? You ever say something, wish you could take it back?
I sure have.
All right.
And it haunts me to this day. I don't think I've ever forgiven myself. It had to do with my sister.
All
And I
right.
said something to her. It was years ago. We was teenagers. I'm sure, at least in my heart, I'm sure she's forgotten it.
Yeah.
Never been brought up again. But I know that it was hurtful to her. Very hurtful. But she forgave me, and she's never brought it up again. And I do believe in my heart she's forgotten it. Knowing her, it would have came up some kind of way. So, but it's never been brought up. And that happened in 50 years ago when we was kids.
Okay.
But it still haunts me because I just felt like I was so wrong and it was so unnecessary. And I think that during that time I was a kid in mind and not mature. But you think of these things that you've done. And for some reason or another, I was thinking of some things in my life that I had done. You know, when you look at other people that's scandalous and all that other stuff. And Pastor Price used to say this all the time. When you point your finger at somebody, you got all these coming back at you. And it made me think of some of the things I've done. Stupid stuff as a kid. I didn't rob no bank or nothing like that or kill nobody, but I'm just saying that that was very hurtful.
Words, man, these sharp tongues. Yeah, let our tongue get out of control. It hurts when you think about it later on. You say, wow, I wish I hadn't said that.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't said that.
Brother teacher,
Yes, sir.
I was informed with him. It said that a lot of times I used to get so caught up in speaking the truth. I'm telling the truth, but truth without compassion is cruelty.
Yeah.
Some of us are so cruel,
Really?
and we think we're doing God a favor, but you're destroying. What good is planting a seed
That's
if
true.
you're going to destroy it at the
Person.
same time? You understand what I'm saying? You can't take it and just put it on stony ground. You ought to wait till the soil is, is tilted so you can put the seed in, and then it can be watered. And then after it's been watered and cared for, then God will give the increase. But if you destroy it before you plant it, it ain't gonna do no good. You take them and throw them out there among the thorns. You ain't gonna get nothing because when they do come up, it's gonna choke because of the thorns and stuff that come up. You understand what I'm saying? I know that I have to be seasoned. I have to do things with compassion. You understand what I'm saying? I have to be a little bit more gentle. It said a soft answer turns away wrath. But if I think I'm right, I won't do it. I told you the truth. You know that ain't God. That's me. You know. By love and kindness have I drawn thee. And then I'm being mean and ugly like a bulldog.
Yeah.
I tell my wife all the time, the lady spoke to me once. She said, how you doing, George? I said, I'm doing good. She said, well, your face don't look
Wow.
And that's been working on me for years. I was looking rough.
I guess you were.
And sometimes now, you don't catch me, I'll be looking rough. Looking like rough. Have to be careful.
Yeah. Well, I've certainly.
George, you ain't by yourself. They all in here.
On one occasion, I was working with some coworkers building antennas, which stood about 50 to 100 feet tall. Now that's, I would say, from the floor to that ceiling up there, might be 50 feet from this floor to that centerpiece up there. That's about 50 feet. So now picture a structure, antenna structure, twice as tall as that.
Wow.
Twice as tall as that. I was working with a coworker, and I dared a coworker to climb to the top of an antenna and stand on the very top. Something I should not have said. You know, when young men get together, sometimes we get to jostling each other, saying things, and you're not paying attention to what we're saying. The tongue just goes haywire, goes wild. And this was one of those events in my life. I said something to a coworker that I should not have said. My coworker slipped. I should not have said. My coworker took up the challenge and climbed to the very top slowly and stood at the very top and waved at me. Now, I dared him to climb that antenna. And he took up the challenge. He went and he climbed it. He went slow, but he climbed it. When he got to the top, he slowly balanced himself on the top, and then he looked down at me and he did like this to me while I was on the ground. Boy, after he made the climb, I thought to myself, what a foolish thing for me to say. I shouldn't have told him that. A gust of wind could have caused him to lose his balance and he falling to the ground, resulting in serious injury, or it could have even killed him. I mean, you fall from a height of 100 feet, that if it doesn't kill you, you'll be broke up pretty bad. After that event, I never asked or challenged anyone or dared to do something dangerous. From that day to this day, and that guy's name is Bradley. And Bradley, I dare you to climb that antenna. He's going to show me. Okay, Charles, I'm going to show you. He showed me. He climbed it, waved at me. Then after everything settled down, I said, well, I shouldn't have done that. Because while he was standing up there waving at me, a gust of wind could have come along and made him lose his balance, if not blow him off the top. He could have fell, killed himself, or at least had some broken bones. So from this day to that, from that day to this, I've never dared anyone to do anything like that. That was very dangerous.
But he was okay though.
Oh yeah, he was okay. He got up and he waved at me. And then he slowly got himself down and started coming back down.
Wow.
So I've never done that since then. Never dared anybody to do anything.
Brother Jones,
So,
I don't know if you heard about the case. This young lady got charged because she encouraged this young boy to kill himself,
Yeah.
and he killed himself. They charged her
Sure did.
yeah,
and found her guilty too, right?
I think so.
okay.
On I think it was text messages too.
Okay, right.
So that technology that we love so much, that's the same thing they're going to crucify us. That's what they got, what's his name, Michael Jackson's doctor. They got him with his text messages.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Let me say this. When things come, it comes profit or for good. But listen to me now. I'm talking to you face to face. This text, I don't see your face. I don't see expression. And people are expressing a lot of things because they don't see you face to face. And this text message and this is driving people apart. You come together as you have the human touch. I'm talking to you, look in your face, see your expression. I'm going to send you a text, and your heart is evil because I have to look in your face. And I'm saying, all of this high tech, that's what God said. Evil men and seducers going to wax worse and worse, not even increase. You see me? If I stick this Bible now, oh no, don't say they and that. Say what the text message want to see. You don't go back to the old part. And God said, ask for the old part and go in there. We said we don't want the old part. Your part is too old. I want a new movement. And that's why we're in today. We're in modern Babylon. And Jesus said, whatever Babylon do, try to do they can, but God said, go down and tear it up. Remember? When they were building, when God said, no more flood, they were building in belief God, they were building this tower of Babel. And God says to those people down there, whatever they put their evil heart to do, they can do it. We're going to come down and tear it down. And we're living right now in modern Babylon society.
Okay, to verify what, oh, I'm sorry. No, he told you.
I saw you.
The worst thing that can happen is when you're angry. You can't be quiet. Because you're adding fire to the fuel. And that's
What,
something
Sonia, can you speak up? Because I didn't hear what
I
you
have
said.
to practice to not say things when I'm angry. Because when you're angry, you say a lot of hurtful back.
Okay.
And that's where wisdom comes in. I know, I don't like confrontation, because confrontation, with your human nature, you want to react instead of just, just talk. And a bad reaction can cost you. Same thing with my daughters. If they say something, I feel like I should not have to have them back talk. But right away the Spirit says, you're older than these kids. You're not supposed to follow up yourself with them. I sip my lip and I return when I'm calm. By that time, they're not even thinking about it, but it's a good time to talk about it. Because I heard this over the radio before, that it's a true statement, that God gave you 2 ears to listen and 1 mouth to speak. So there's a reason why God gave us 2 ears, so that we can listen more than speak. So I don't know if it's a bad thing that I don't like confrontation, but I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Something to think about. God gave me 2 ears, but he only gave me 1 mouth. So is he trying to tell me something? I should do more listening than talking. Sister Irene.
No, I was just going to amplify what Pastor said about the woman who encouraged her boyfriend to kill himself. She was convicted of involuntary manslaughter, and she only got 15 months. I thought it said 15 years, but they only gave her 15 months, so she's probably out now.
She was white too, right?
Yep, she out.
Oh,
I bet
If
anybody.
it been black, you'd still been in there.
15 years. Not no months.
Have you ever been in a heated argument and used words that were very hurtful to another person? I've done that too. In these kinds of events, this could very well be what the Apostle James has in mind when he speaks of the unruly tongue. For with the tongue we bless, and with the tongue we curse, not to mention the threats. Brother Art.
Yeah, but most people, when they fly off the handle like that, most people allow their emotions to take over. And that's what I do think James is more speaking of. When you allow your emotions to take over, you will say anything. And you're not worried about hurting nobody's feelings. You're just trying to defend yourself when we allow our emotions to take over. And that's what's wrong with the church or with the people today, is people allow their emotions to take over, so then they're going to say what they think is correct for them. And then they think about, well, shoulda, woulda, coulda. You think about that later on. You don't think about that at the time you're doing it. Because most of us, like I said, we let our emotions take over. Because we're emotional creatures.
Yeah, we're emotional, but James says ought not be, Sister Irene.
Not only, I'm going to amplify what he said also, not only do you say it with your tongue, now they text you nasty stuff. And now you got it in writing. So they can't say, I didn't say, because you wrote it down in a text. And when you say that, you
I've
can't
seen
take it
one of
out.
the judges on, not to cut you off, but I've seen one of the judges on TV. I forget her name. It's not Judy, but it's one of the other judges.
The Spanish lady.
The Spanish lady, Milan?
No, she's not blonde. She's
No.
not Spanish, rather.
And you got hot seat with two judges and one man. Is that
No,
really?
she's,
Maybelline? Just Maybelline?
I can't remember her name.
Okay.
She's rough, though. She's rough, and she thinks fast.
Judge Judy,
No,
No,
not
no.
Judy.
She was a
Oh, Judy is mean too.
She's too mean, I don't like her.
She don't play.
Yeah.
She called us
But if you tell her you got some information on your cell phone, she wants to see it. And you can show it to her, and she will actually read off what's on your cell phone and use that in your case or in the case that she's trying. I've seen her do that. So,
She likes evidence.
Deals with facts.
Yeah, she don't want no.
Oh, are you,
Yeah, she likes facts,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she don't want no.
Are you talking about a young black one? A young black?
no, she's white.
Oh, she's white.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said she was black.
No, she's white. I just can't think of her name. But anyway, she,
Okay.
if you got something, some records on your cell phone in the form of a text, she'll want to read it. You
Not just you.
give it to her, she'll read it, and she'll let that influence the case or her decision as to what she's going to do.
Is it the Hispanic Judge Millian?
Millian?
No, she's Spanish. She said I'm Spanish.
I thought she was Cuban. Is she Cuban?
Yeah.
Okay.
If she is Hispanic, she talks very good English. Very good.
That's Milan. I think that's what we're talking about.
Okay, midway on page 2. Famous words of wisdom, using the tongue wisely. Abraham Lincoln, we know who Abraham Lincoln was, right?
Yeah.
We all know Abraham.
Oh, no.
He coined a phrase. Brother Arthur, can you read that phrase for me, please?
It is said that Abraham Lincoln coined these words which say, better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak out and remove all doubt. That's in the Bible.
Is that in the Bible?
Something
Yeah,
to that.
that ain't nothing Abraham Lincoln thought of himself.
I didn't know it was in the Bible.
I'll put the check.
I didn't know.
Check it and see it, sister.
But whether it's in the Bible or it's not,
It's true.
that's a word of good advice.
You open your mouth, you remove all doubt.
Yeah, keep quiet, you doubt it a little bit. But once you open your mouth and start burning off at the mouth, they know for sure. This is a fool. Okay, I have another one at the top of page 3. Can somebody read Jackson's words?
Our character is what we do when we think no one is looking.
That's something to think about. Do you agree with that?
Amen.
It's what you are when you think nobody's looking. But I've always heard the saying, you may not see them, but somebody is
Somebody
watching.
will always watch.
Somebody always watching. Audrey Hepburn. Sister Irene, can you read a saying by Audrey Hepburn?
For beautiful eyes, look for the good in others. For beautiful lips, speak only words of kindness. And for poise, walk with the knowledge that you are never alone.
This lady came out with a nice one. I kind of like that. When you walk as though you're not alone. God is with you. Walk as though God is with you. Might even walk better. Yeah, might even walk better. When you walk as though you're not alone. Pastor.
Yes, sir.
Thomas Jefferson.
Honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom.
Honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom. All right. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. The writer of this was a Buddhist from one of the Japanese schools. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Okay, page 4. Sister Greta, can we read a few words about Harriet Tubman?
Harriet Tubman is perhaps the most well-known of all the Underground Railroad conductors. During a 10-year span, she made 19 trips to the South and escorted over 300 slaves to freedom. And as she once proudly pointed out to Frederick Douglass, in all of her journeys, she never lost a single
this lady here, I would say she had works to back up what she was speaking.
She was tough.
Say again.
She was tough.
All right. Brother,
I'm just going to read it just to show you that a lot of these things that these people quote, they get it from the scriptures. You guys, we just don't understand a lot of the things that are quoted by people. Just like you say Abraham Lincoln, this was his quote. Listen to what Proverbs say.
Yeah.
Proverbs chapter 17, verse 28. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise. Same thing, same exact thing. And it says, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. Exact same thing.
well, I, and these people, they get their inspiration from the Bible. They just didn't come up with these sayings and these doings. Like we just read Ms. Tubman, she had to have an experience with the Bible in order for her to be that dedicated towards other people, either her mother, her father, her sister, or brother. They had to teach her some things, some words of wisdom from the Bible, from God. So, you know, that's how she got that. She wasn't born with that kind of faith.
You know what I
Sister
say?
Joyce.
What I say? Everything we do when we have in the mind is learning. When a baby comes out of mother's womb, what's the first thing the baby do? Right, it's the first thing the baby do, and everything else after that is learning. I don't care how you got everything is learned from somebody else. Nobody said this is us coming up. Because when I read a few things in the Bible, it's from in the bulletin from the Bible. Learn from God and put it in the Bible. It's in the bulletin. So everything is learned. So nobody have any. People might have more knowledge because they have Facebook, they have internet to go bring it up. You know, you ask a question, right away it comes up. And you might say, oh, this person knows so much. It's learning. If you want to learn the same thing, it's learning. So there should be no preeminence over what anybody knows. No God. That's a preeminence.
Yeah. All right, well.
I'm going to say this. I'm a member of this church. When I speak, I'm not angry. It's just my enthusiasm.
Well, you may not be angry, but sometimes to me you sound pretty tough.
Really?
Okay, and you know what I mean? If I begin to tone down, I'm telling you something. I come to this church and I say nothing. Because when Jesus was on the earth, Jesus had an enthusiasm. When Jesus went to the temple, he put them out, he called. But if I sound, because I'm telling you, if I sound like I'm angry, and I know I'm not, if anybody perceives that I'm angry, I'll do something about it. Because I'm not here to
I know I missed it.
I'm here to learn to worship. And if my learning of worship is affect everybody, I will do something else that I can do. Okay?
All right.
Because I would say the same thing about others when they speak. But it doesn't matter to me because I know that person is not angry. That's my perception. This person is just voicing their emotion, what they feel. Everybody wants everybody to be like them. I don't want to be more like them but Jesus.
All right. Brother,
I love, that's why I like Sister Joyce. And that's how people perceive me, as I'm always angry when I speak because I don't smile and you don't say it all nicely and cuddly. This is what's wrong with the church world today. Everybody wants you to be all nice and cuddly and speak with a nice, soft, intelligent voice. But you cannot say that Jesus did that same thing, because Jesus, when he got angry, you knew he was angry. But when he spoke with authority. That's what's wrong with us now. We don't want nobody speaking to us with authority. If we get up there and we speak out and say things, people always want to say, oh, he think he know everything, or he think he this, or he think he that. That's not the way it is. Sometimes you have to express yourself that way. It's not that you're being mean to people. It's just that you speaking with the authority that the Lord has given you to speak with. Thank you.
what time is it, Pastor?
You got about 3 minutes.
You got about an hour.
We got a hand over here, bro.
Oh,
Just to piggyback on comes to me, you are. Accept
You know what,
me the way
maybe
I
we
am.
need to put
I'm
a-
not like you, you're not like me, we're all different. And that's why we have a head, we have a foot, we have an arm, because we all have different,
Back there?
behaviors and different things to do. One is a teacher, one is a student. We're not all alike, and that's where the beauty comes in. It's diversity.
Are they in there now?
Very good. Okay. This is a nice one. Henry Davis. Can you read that one, Pastor?
Sure. Henry Davis wrote, "It is not what you look at that matters, it's what you see."
Can you talk about that a little bit, Pastor? What do you think about that scene?
It's wisdom, right?
Wisdom.
Yeah.
All right. It's not what you look at that matters, but it's how you see it.
It's what you look at, what you see.
How you see what you're looking at. Because when you look at it, it could be a very positive thought that you get. Somebody else look at it, they get negative thoughts about it. It's like that old saying, is the glass half full of water? Or is the glass half empty of water? So how do you see that? See, either way it goes, it's a half a glass of water.
No matter how you look at it. No matter what you do.
6 in one hand, a half a dozen in the other.
Very good, yeah. That's very good. How do you see that? Sir Winston Churchill. We know who Sir Winston Churchill was. Okay. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. I have to say amen to that.